Hello and welcome to DSEJ Teleclasses. I am Darshan and today we are going to analyze Anton Chekhov's play The Proposal. In part 1 of this lesson, you studied the text of the play, you learned about the summary and the plot of the play. Today we will analyze it for the themes, the characters, the title, etc. Let's get started. So before we actually start today's lesson, let's do a little recap of what we learned in the previous lesson. That is part 1 of this lesson. So let's do a quick recap of the plot summary of the play, The Proposal. Now, as you know, that Ivan Vasilievich Lomov is the central character in this play. There are actually 3 characters: Lomov, Natalia, and Chubukov. So the story goes like this. Ivan Vasilievich Lomov, a long-time neighbor of Stepan Stepanovich Chubukov, has come to propose marriage to Chubukov's 25-year-old daughter, Natalia. After he has asked and received joyful permission of Natalia's father to marry her, she is invited into the room and he tries to convey to her the proposal. Then what happens is that because Lomov is actually a hypochondriac, and while trying to make clear his reasons for being there, he gets into an argument with Natalia about the Oxen Meadows, a disputed piece of land between their respective properties, which results in him having palpitations and numbness in his leg. Hypochondriac means a person who is very obsessed with his own illness, or who is obsessed with the idea of illness, who keeps on thinking that he or she is ill. This is what Lomov is also like. And because of this, he feels as if he's having palpitations in his heart, or his legs are getting numb after having that argument with Natalia about some piece of land that was disputed between the two families. After her father notices they were arguing, he joins in and then sends Lomov out of the house. So this is what happens after that. While Chubukov talks about Lomov, he expresses his shock that this fool dares to make you a proposal of marriage. This is what he tells his daughter. But when Natalia learns this fact that Lomov actually had come to propose her for marriage, she is shocked. So this news shocks Natalia and she begs her father to bring him back. Chubukov brings Lomov back and Natalia and Lomov get into a second big argument, this time about the superiority of their respective hunting dogs, Squeezer and Guess. So Lomov does come back, Chubukov brings him back, but again the proposal thing doesn't happen and they again enter into another big argument about their dogs and their breeds and their qualities. Lomov collapses from his exhaustion over arguing and father and daughter fear he's dead. That means Lomov kind of becomes unconscious because he feels as if his heart is palpitating and he's having palpitations. So he becomes so nervous. Because he's so nervous, he can't kind of talk for a long time, and because of that he becomes unconscious. And when he becomes unconscious and falls, both father and daughter, that means Natalia and Chubukov, they think that he's dead. But we learn later that he is not actually dead. However, after a few minutes, he regains consciousness and Chubukov all but forces him. Now he forces both of them and his daughter to accept the proposal, that is the marriage proposal. So ultimately the proposal happens, Natalia accepts it, but immediately after this they get into another argument. So this is what we learned in the last lesson. Now let's start analyzing this lesson, this play, the proposal, and we'll start with the title of the play. Now as you saw, the title of the play is The Proposal. But that is not the original title. The original title that was first given to this play was A Marriage Proposal, which later was renamed as Proposal. Now, what do you think? Is this title appropriate or apt or suitable for this kind of a play? You have read the play. Now you have to tell me, or you have to think about whether this title is suitable for this play or not. I feel the title is very apt and suitable because of the fact that the whole play is about Lomov proposing Natalia. This is about the proposal only. Right from the beginning to the end of the play, the story revolves around the marriage proposal. So that's why we can say that this title is very suitable. And the how the play ends is when Lomov finally proposes Natalia. So we can say, yes, we can say that this title is apt. All right. Now let's move on to the type of play that it is. That means, there are different kinds of plays in literature. So what kind of play is this play? This is a comedy, but then comedies are also of different kinds. And this is also a one-act play. One-act play means, if you read Shakespeare, you will see that he wrote long plays, 5 acts, and many scenes in one act. But this kind of plays that the proposal is, this is a one-act play. And how do you know whether a play is a one-act play or not? A one-act play has a simple plot. It is not very intricate, not very complex. There are not so many events or incidents that happen in the play. That is a one-act play. And the scene doesn't, and also the scene doesn't shift to many places. There aren't many characters, not more than 7, 8 in a one-act play. And in this play, like you can see, there are only 3 characters. Another feature of a one-act play is that it is very fast-paced. This play, as you can also notice, is very fast-paced. The action takes place very quickly, and there usually is only one event in the play, one important event, not many events. So in this play as well, there is only one event, that is the proposal. And as soon as the proposal happens, the play ends. So this is a one-act play. And as I was saying earlier, that it is a comedy. Now, comedy can be a farce, comedy can be a satire. Both satire and farce are genres of comedy. Both are kinds of comedy only. And comedy means a kind of play or anything which can make people laugh. So this play is also comedy, but is it a farce or a satire? And how satire differs from farce is that main aim of a satire is to expose and criticize the idiocies and vices in the society. That means in a satire, you not only laugh at what is happening in the play, but you also get some serious message from the play, and the characters or the situation, whatever is there, that is basically people laughing at something bad in the society, people's vices, people's idiocies. This is what a satire is all about. But on the other hand, a farce just is, main purpose of farce is to make people laugh. So there can be some silly dialogues in the play, some exaggerations in the play, or some kind of a funny action in the play. All those things together make a farce, and the main purpose of the farce is just to make people laugh. But in a satire, there is also a message, and actually a satire is laughing at or mocking at the something bad that is present in the society. That is what a satire is. Now, if you look at this play superficially, it looks like a farce, just for fun, just for laughing. But then there is also mocking at the, the that class of people who belonged to Russia during the 19th century, and laughing at them, laughing at their ideas. This is what this play is. This play, as a farce, explores the process of getting married. Just getting married can be considered a funny thing, sometimes, and that makes it a farcical play. But on a serious side, it could be read as a satire on the upper middle class and courtship. The time that people spend with each other before marriage in order to know each other. That is called courtship. So laughing at marriage and upper middle class and courtship, making fun of it and giving some serious message. That way, this play can be read as a satire as well. All right. So this is what this play is. It's a kind of play it is. Now let's look at the themes, the main themes in this play. First and the foremost theme is marriage. As simple as that, because this is a proposal for marriage. So of course the main theme is the marriage. But it's not as simple as it looks. In Russia during those times, and especially in that upper middle class society, marriage wasn't just a marriage of two people who love each other, or kind of thing. It was also an economic security for some people, and for other people it was like enhancing their status, because people wanted to get married to people who were higher up in status than they were. So that didn't look like. So you can also see in this play that Chubukov, who is a landowner himself, wants his daughter to get married to Lomov, who is again a landowner. So that way their wealth will be doubled, So that is the idea of marriage for those people. Now, another thing that you can see as a theme in this play is economic security. Now, economic security, as a result of marriage. So people, as I said, got married because they wanted to be economically secure, or maybe increase their wealth, as I said earlier. So that was another theme of this play. Then you talk about myth versus practicality. Now, what is myth and what is practicality? These two things are also related to marriage, because people have mythical ideas about married life. When people aren't married, they think the life after marriage to be very romantic, or maybe kind of very stable, very secure, and they feel that their struggles would end. But actually, it's not the fact. Practically, if you see, after marriage, people have to work harder, to earn more, and the kind of things. So that can be another theme of this play, myth versus practicality after marriage. And you see, even in this play, the marriage doesn't even happen, but you can see the struggle, the struggle that would be coming up after these two people get married, Natalia and Lomov. Another thing is mocking at romance and marriage. You see, this play mocks at the institution of marriage. Marriage or the proposal for marriage has been presented in a very funny way, as if the playwright is laughing at something, making fun of something. And that something is marriage and romance, because both of these people have been shown as very unromantic, though they want to get married to each other. Lomov goes there to propose Natalia. Natalia wants to get married to Lomov, but again they are arguing, they are quarreling. So that shows that they are both unromantic, and this way the writer of the play makes them as his tools of laughing at romance and marriage. Okay. Another thing is that Russian landowners during those times, they had a very different attitude. They wanted all the wealth to themselves. They didn't want other people to have any share in what they were earning, so that they were different from peasants who were working in their farms. So their attitude has also been shown, how one landowner wants to get married into the family of other landowner, and this way to secure their wealth as well as to kind of multiply it. So this can be another theme. So that was about the themes of in this play. Now let's talk about the characters, the main characters. In fact, there are only three. So all three, will be looking at all three characters. There aren't no minor characters, nothing at all, just the three characters. And there is, one thing that makes it a one act play, as I said earlier. So in characters, the main character, the central character is Lomov, of course. So let's learn a little bit about Lomov. Now Lomov is the main character or the central character in this play. And what are his characteristics? As we know, his full name is Ivan Vasilievich Lomov. He is a Russian landlord. He is 35-year-old bachelor. He is a long-time neighbor of Chubukov, that we all learn at the very outset, at the very beginning of the play. Then we also learn about him. He is a hypochondriac. Hypochondriac means a person who is obsessed with his imaginary illness. He always keeps thinking that he is ill, he is having palpitations, his legs are getting numb, that he keeps on thinking that he is not well, he is ill. That kind of a person is called a hypochondriac. So Lomov is also a hypochondriac. And because of this tendency, he spends sleepless nights. We saw in the play that Lomov speaks very nervously. He doesn't have that confidence to speak with the people, and when he talks to Natalia, although he gives her many strong logics behind whatever he's saying, but at the same time he keeps on telling her, I'm having palpitations, my legs are getting numb, kind of things. So this tells us that he lacks that confidence to speak with people. Alright, now let's look at the character of Natalia. She is the heroine, of this play. Now, her full name is Natalia Stepanovna, and she, as we know, is Chubukov's daughter and Lomov's neighbor. She is 25 years old, and we learn through Lomov when he is all alone and thinking about Natalia, and we learn it from him, that she is an excellent housekeeper. That means she knows how to manage the household affairs, as was expected from ladies those days, to be good housekeepers. And it's also expected, at least in India these days as well, in most parts of India, it is still expected that women have to be excellent housekeepers. But it was more so in those days, and she was an excellent housekeeper. She was good looking, and he uses the term not bad looking, for Natalia. He says she's not bad looking when he's thinking about her. So that's what makes us learn that she is a good looking, is as good as saying not bad looking means good looking. And then she's well educated. This again we learn through that part when Lomov is thinking about her. But she's impulsive and quarrelsome, and we can say that over a very small matter she starts quarreling with Lomov, who has actually come to propose her for marriage. So this is what Natalia is like. Very brief about her, not the detailed thing, but just a few points about how she is, or learning about the character Natalia, the heroine. Now let us learn about Chubukov, who is the father of who is Natalia's father, right? His full name is Stepan Stepanovich Chubukov. He is again a Russian landlord like Lomov, and he is Lomov's longtime neighbor. He is Natalia's father, we know that. He is a loving father, but very desperate to get his daughter married, because 25 years those days was considered an age when by when every girl should have got married. So that's why he's desperate to get his daughter married. And but he's a loving father indeed, because you can see during the play that he takes her side a lot. Then he is rich but greedy for more. That's why he wants his daughter to get married to Lomov, and finally he actually forces them into this kind of a commitment where he tells his daughter to accept Lomov's proposal without without Lomov's proposing her. He makes her accept it finally. So you can see that's why we can say that he was greedy. He is a worldly wise man, because when they are arguing with each other, he comes in between, stops the argument, and then calls him back, because he knows that he was a suitable husband for his daughter. That way we can say he's worldly wise. He knows what's right, what's wrong. And you can, worldly wise means a little bit, these are polite words for calling a person shrewd or cunning, worldly wise, because when he is a kind of a double-faced person, when Lomov comes to his house, he's thinking about him, that he might have come to borrow money from him. But when he addresses him very politely in very beautiful words, like calling him my angel and all. And then he, kind of pushes him out of his house. So you can see he's not, actually, because he's an old man, he's an experienced person, he knows how to behave, but inside he is that shrewd, that cunning man. And that's why we are using these words, worldly wise. And finally, he is a hypocrite. And hypocrite again is a kind of person who doesn't look like what he is actually inside. Right. So now we have learnt about these characters a bit. In your examination, you can be asked to write the character sketch of any of these characters. Writing a character sketch is a skill that can be developed on the basis of information that you get from the reading of the play. So now because you have read this play, now because you know about these people, the three of them, now you should be able to write a character sketch. So we'll here discuss a few points, or the little process of writing the character sketch of any character from a play. And then we will look at a sample character sketch of one of these characters. Let us first see what should be included in a character sketch. First of all, before starting to write the character sketch, you should write the main points about the character. And normally it starts with the physical appearance of a person if it is given in the play. Of course, if it is given, you don't have to imagine what a person looks like, or maybe just looking at the illustrations, the pictures that have been given in the book to imagine that this is how the person. You just have to write about the physical appearance that is given in the play, right? So you can start with the physical appearance of a person. The person is tall or short or fat or thin, or maybe have long hair, or the color of eyes, the color of skin, whatever is told in the play about that person, you can start from there. So physical appearance is the first thing. Another point can be about the age of a person. Like in this play, we saw that the age of Natalia has been mentioned. That is, she is 25 years old and Lomov is 35 years of age. But we don't learn about Chubukov's age. We can just imagine that he might be maybe 50 years old, or maybe a little more than that. So age of a person can be, this can be one of the points. Nature, what kind of a person is. For example, we said that Chubukov is a hypocrite, that he's a double-faced person. So this way we and remember, we learn about all these things from the reading of the play only, right? So nature is one of the points that can be written. And behavior, what kind of a person, how the person behaves. Nature is one thing and behavior is another thing. Normally, a person's behavior is more or less connected with the person's nature, but sometimes because we know what kind of a person is Chubukov, but when he behaves in public, he talks to like Lomov very politely and all that, right? Then when you have written the points, now is the turn to expand those points, to include some details about those persons, about those points. For example, you are writing about the appearance, now include all the details that have been given in the play. Or maybe when you're writing about the behavior, you have to expand the behavior of the person and include details, small details about the behavior of that person. And then you can draw inferences. Inferences means to draw conclusions from what you have read in the text. Sometimes it's not clearly mentioned that the person was clever or the person was wise, but the way the person behaved or acted in the text, in the play, you can draw some conclusions that the person was a very wise person, or clever, or shrewd, or maybe intelligent, whatever. So this is what drawing inferences means. Then quoting from the text. So when you say that the person was clever, try to include some phrases, or if possible very some expressions from the play that tell you that the person was of this kind, or whatever you want to prove, or whatever you are talking about. Just include some small expressions or phrases from the actual play or the text. So this is how you write a character sketch. Now we will look at the character sketch of Ivan Vasilievich Lomov. This is a sample character sketch of Lomov, and on the whatever we have discussed now, the process of writing a character sketch, on the basis of that we can write a character sketch like this. So Ivan Vasilievich Lomov is a central character in Anton Chekhov's play The Proposal. So here comes the name of the play, the name of the writer, and what is the status of the character in the play. This is how we are starting. Now he is a long-time neighbor of Stepanovich Chubukov, and he is a 35-year-old Russian landlord and is still a bachelor. So his status a bit, his age, we are starting with that, like you can see. Then the playwright further describes him. I told you that we have to take these things from the play only. The clues from the play, the text, the expressions from the play. Large and hearty. So these are the words that the playwright has used for him. Large and hearty, but a very suspicious landowner. He's a very suspicious person. He doesn't trust people easily. Then he is a hypochondriac who is obsessed with his imaginary illness and spends sleepless nights. We have discussed it earlier. He represents the Russian upper middle class society of the 19th century. Lomov chooses a quiet and regular life. These things in the inverted commas, these mean that these phrases or these expressions have been picked from the text itself. As I said earlier, you have to include these things when you are describing a character from the play. So Lomov chooses a quiet and regular life instead of searching for ideal or real love. Hence he decides to marry Natalia. Later he gets involved in continual arguments with her. We saw it in the play. Then we know he's not a very confident person. He's always nervous. His agitation and nervousness in uttering the marriage proposal is funny and hilarious. Lomov's illness is a representation of the diseased society. It indicates individual frailty as well as social degeneration. Frailty means weakness, and as a society, when people of his age were degenerating into things of this kind. So both of these things this character represents. Alright, so these were your characters and the process of writing a character sketch. Now let's look at some textual questions from your textbook. Actually, we'll look at two of them which look a little important to me. The first is, what does Chubukov at first suspect that Lomov has come for? Is he sincere when he later says, "And I have always loved you, my angel, as if you were my own son"? Find reasons from for your answer from the play. Excuse the misspelling there. Now the answer is, Chubukov at first suspects that Lomov has come to borrow money. But Chubukov is not sincere in saying this, because after some minutes Chubukov starts fighting with Lomov over petty matters. In fact, he sides with his daughter in fighting with Lomov. He even abuses Lomov, calling him with bad names. This shows his insincerity in saying this flattering sentence. Right? So that means he is not sincere in whatever he says, and we learnt it when we were studying his character sketch that he is a hypocrite. He is a double-faced person. Let's look at the second question. Chubukov says of Natalia, as if she won't consent. She is in love. Egad, she is like a lovesick cat. Would you agree? What Chubukov says about his daughter Natalia, that she is in love with Lomov, of course. Do you agree with that? Yes, it seems like Natalia is in love. This becomes evident from her behavior when she knows that Lomov came to propose to her. She wants him back and calls her father to bring him back at once. He has gone out after the quarrel. She becomes hysteric, but he comes back. She starts another argument with him. Alright then, so that was your play, The Proposal. Hope you have enjoyed the lesson. Thank you very much.